there is something more important we need right now, and that is protection. And for that, we're going to have to get into modular force fields. Let's do this. Let's grab a power cell and head somewhere we don't much care about. Oops. Like over here. Okay. So, here's basically the extent of my knowledge. If we plop down our power source and send power out to a coercion deriver, turn the coercion deriver on, it will make Fortron. Okay, so then we take the Fortron capacitor and we can link it up. All good so far. Now what we can do, let's do the biometric identifier first. Place that down, and we can make ourselves master. So what that means, I think, is that now the system is locked to us. Now, what we can do is add a force field projector with a sphere module. And his comment about beds made me nervous. Okay. So theoretically it's projecting a sphere force field, but I don't see it. So let's try increasing the scale. Ah, there we go. Now, if we do that, oh, that's cool. We remote control it that way. Now, if I come to this, I can't just right-click. If I... Okay. I already carry with me a way to do that. Okay. So, now, the question is, if I place an interdiction matrix down, I can put a warning in. Yeah, I don't know enough about this. Okay, I looked it up and did even a little bit more than that. So, here's how this all works. I already told you how the coercion driver makes Fortron, gets added to the Fortron capacitor, which can then be used in machines. So I was right about the biometric identifier. That makes it so that I have master abilities, and I was misusing that force field earlier. I have to shift-click, and I can sneak through the force field if I have the master privileges. Then we have the interdiction matrix, and the assumption I was making earlier that is incorrect is that it pairs with a force field generator and fills the entire inner space of the force field. The interdiction matrix has its own range, which you can see here. The warning range, because I have a full stack of scale modules, is 68, and I assume it's a spherical radius. Haven't tested it. And then the action matrix is 64. I've installed a number of upgrades, warning to increase the range it warns at, a block access and block alter modules, which keep people without privileges from being able to access or alter any blocks in the area, a confiscate module, which will steal their items and put them into this diamond chest I've put next to the interdiction matrix, and the anti-personnel module, which instantly kills them. He's not on right now, but I tested this on Geel, and, well, it worked. So I have since removed the book from here that links me to the Nexus, because anyone who... I thought it would warn him and give him kind of a countdown that he could quickly get out of the base, But if you teleport directly into the base while that interdiction matrix is on, you die instantly. Okay, so what I've done is added a little entranceway. This is now where books to and from my base will go. And just in case they aren't watching their chat messages, which is where I think they get the message saying they are approaching an interdiction matrix, if anyone tries to enter my base without me turning off that interdiction matrix, they'll see this black gate with a fairly stern warning, I think. But I can easily pass through. So, yeah, I think that works nicely and is a good, very strong deterrent for people coming in and stealing tag locks of me. Gil was also playing around with wireless trackers from the wireless redstone mod, trying to track me and dropping all sorts of items into my base. We had a little sort of prank war against each other, but I didn't manage to catch any of that on camera. My apologies. So I added an additional measure. And you can see it here on top of my fountain. I think it actually looks really cool. It fits in well there. This is a force field projector, to which I've added scale modules and also modules to change the appearance of it. And you can see we turn it on, and I am deriving enough Fortron to power both this and my interdiction matrix. I made certain of that. But when we turn this on, it's going to relatively quickly start throwing up a force field. And I've replaced the look of the force field with the magic walls from Ars Magica, because I think they look really cool. And you can see it puts a force field dome all around my base. This is pretty cool. And the added advantage of this is that you couldn't, for example, I don't know, launch TNT into my base now, because the force field is going to block you, and if you try and get through the force field, even if you find a way through, you'll be instantly killed. So at this point, if I have the force field up, you can't stand safely back from my base and attack me while I'm within it from the outside. You couldn't shoot an arrow at me or, you know, some sort of gun or mining laser or anything like that. It just won't work. And just to demonstrate, because I have my master card in the biometric identifier, if I hold shift, I can walk right through, which is cool. And I can give anyone I like privileges to be able to enter or exit using that biometric identifier. So I really like this. I think I'm going to leave it off most of the time. I don't know. It's nice, but I don't think I necessarily want this sort of domed-in feeling all the time. So, yeah, but it's good to know it's here, in case. Okay, so, yeah, now it's gone. It's also a lot of transparent blocks. I'm sure that could cause rendering issues for some people. Not, I guess, that people other than me are able to get into the base now, because I keep that interdiction matrix on. Oh well. If people ask very nicely, maybe I'll add them to my list. We'll have to see what privileges they get, but maybe I'll add them. So yeah, so I set that all up, and I've got a better understanding of modular force fields now, which is nice. I'm I'm a little embarrassed. I try to be knowledgeable in the mods before I cover them for you. I don't like the feeling of bumbling around. But yeah, so anyway, you've seen my progression now a little bit, knowing very little about how, say, interdiction matrices worked, and now I know quite a bit more. Okay. I've done a little bit of other work off camera. The work we set off for, well, what seems to me ages ago, making this, which will become our forestry/bee room. As you can see, I've got it all hooked up to power and the ME system. I got, oh, excuse me for the yawn. I got some filing cabinets for queens, princesses, and drones, so we can store all our bees here. And then I have some basic forestry machines set up right now. I have a centrifuge, which can spin out combs that we get. I've got a squeezer, which can get us all sorts of forestry fluids like honey and seed oil. Yeah, those two. And I've got 3 carpenters in a stack. This is important because carpenters can use different fluids. I have one right now set to use water, but eventually we'll want one that uses honey and one that uses seed oil. And finally, I've got the thermionic fabricator. I don't know if I'm going to need this right now, and as you can see, I haven't bothered automating any part of it. All 3 of these have automatic inputs and outputs. So, I don't know. I could build it. It's part of forestry, so I placed it. The other thing I realized I would need, though, is this room. So this is a Buildcraft laser room with an assembly table. This is actually something that I could have been useful for a long while now, but what it allows me to do is, for example, I can take redstone and sorry, excuse my yawn again. I'm recording this very late. So if I place redstone and ender pearls, I can select to make these pulsating chipsets, which I think are actually the item I'm going to need for crafting some of the machines I'll need for doing bees. So yes, so I set this up, and this is now able to make me all the Buildcraft things I'll need from the assembly table. Those of you familiar with the assembly table might know that it automatically pushes items it makes into an adjacent inventory. Otherwise, it just spits them out on the ground, and it's not spitting items on the ground, so you might be wondering, where's its adjacent inventory? Well, it's got an interface right there. So it spits things directly into the ME system. Cool. I've done one other thing that's going to be very useful for doing bees. I added a lot of patterns into my AE system, and these are going to help me make items in the Gendustry mod. The Gendustry mod is what we're going to use to progress through bees. It allows really rapid progress, which is nice. But I actually think that I'm going to do that a little bit next time. I'll probably find a way to place the machines off camera. Oh, okay. If you haven't been able to tell from all those yawns that I've been completely unable to stifle, I am very tired. So this is probably going to be a short episode, but before I wrap up, I'd like to show you some of the progress that's been made on spawn. So As I showed you, I think starting last episode, Gil has made, Gil and I guess, have collaborated to make a new spawn building. And you saw me, yeah, trying to find Gil's witchery setup over here. So you may have noticed that he has built up a bunch of this. Oh, Enderman heads. It's got walls now. It's got a nice little dome. I've decided I don't really like this material we've been building out of. I think I'm going to come in with my Wand of Equal Trade at some point and switch it out for something prettier. This is actually just a variant on cobblestone. So is the floor, for that matter. But you can see we've got kind of a portal room going here. Brings us to a number of different places. The Nexus. I don't know. It's got some cool stuff. Oh, and yeah, there's this solar age. And this is where we're getting our power. Okay. So this age is apparently always day, so we have these compound solar panels here. I'm thinking I might move many of these. Oh wow. Okay, this lasts like forever. Back so that okay, so I made all these solar panels because I want Spawn to be able to have a couple of like useful machines, including an AE system that everyone can sort of dump their stuff into, and then oh wow, seems potentially unnecessary, but I guess people like having an infinite supply of stone. But yeah, just, a few simple machines so that people can build stuff out. Here's the smeltery. Although again, I might move this a little bit so that it's not right in front of the door, or I might block up the door, I don't know. And then, yeah, here we go. A bunch of mechanism machines that have been transplanted from Spawn help people get a start on, ore doubling and that sort of thing. And what I might do is make some sort of mine entrance somewhere around here so that people can have access to that. We've got a tree farm. We've got a mob spawning system, but this is actually a little more high-tech than I intended. I was thinking actually it would be, cows and sheep maybe for food and stuff. But all easily done. And I guess there are no crops here yet. There's just that. Anyway, so Gil and I have been doing this, and we'll probably continue working on it to make Spawn even better. Gil has actually even been volunteering some of his own Essentia through the Essentia mirror to speed up the process of getting tree growth and things like that. But yeah, I mean, with a little bit of work still, this will become a nice place to help people start on the server without, doing everything for them. I don't want people to want to settle here necessarily, but I think it's good, especially since you have people come along, they do all the mining, they take out all the trees. I mean, this used to be a little forest when we started, remember? So people deforested it and didn't replant, so, there's a lack of trees for everyone. I'm sure there's also less minerals. So having this system set up helps anyone who starts on the server really be at an equal footing with a couple benefits. And then once I've done that and probably moved all I can of the machines and things that are over here over to that building, I guess rather than move, Gil opted to just make new of everything. Maybe I'll pack all this up and tuck it away somewhere for making a secondary spawn castle or something. Anyway, but yeah, I'm going to actually, I think it's time. So I haven't moved spawn yet, but I think what I'm going to do is right now set the server spawn to be right here. Okay. I don't actually know the command for this. Nope. That was wrong. Okay. Wow, 24 pages of help. I'm not going to find it while talking to you guys, but as soon as I finish up, I will set this as the spawn. Okay. I think that's going to do it for this episode. I know these last two episodes have been kind of disjointed and fragmented, and they've also been late, as has my Skyrim series, and I apologize for that. I found that I am not particularly articulate when I am interacting with other players, and so I've had a lot of interactions with Gil, and I also played some of the Evolve Big Alpha, tried to record some footage of that for you guys, but it just didn't turn out well, so I don't know if I'm going to release any of that. But yeah, so working on those sorts of things, it's actually made these episodes a lot more difficult to edit, and yeah, I got a little distracted, but yeah, I think I've gone through all sort of the back footage that has required a lot of extra editing, and so I should be on track to resume a normal update schedule soon. Probably immediately. But yeah, so I just wanted to inform you of why that happened, and apologize for it. I mean, not that you necessarily care, but I try to update once a day, and it's been, well, I guess probably 2 or 3 days now since I've updated. But yeah, so next time, I think we are going to work some more on bees. Actually, maybe we'll even work with bees instead of just setting up rooms. And hopefully we won't have too many more distractions. And I can show you then how I like to prevent rain from ruining my day. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you think of it, and the last one, actually. I was a little more interactive with Gil, who's at this point really the only other member of the server. Other people, I think, have moved on, so I'm probably going to try recruiting again soon. But yeah, let me know what you think. So, it was a little more interactive, but because of that, I was a little more all over the place. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.